Hey there, folks. Let's visit CSSBattle.dev and do the daily target. Here we go. Wow, we have a bunch of shapes here that are sort of interlocking in some really cool ways. Okay. What are the shapes? What are the elements? Today I'm thinking I see a few shapes, and so what are those shapes? I think I see three elements. The first and last are the light blue rectangles, right? So this middle one is the different one. So let's set some colors on there and set a background color here, and know that we're going to be using margins to put these into place. And so here we go. I want to do I think it's top to bottom, and B is different. And the background of that one, I think, is a repeating conic gradient, or conic gradient. Yeah, conic gradient. Which is, no, we'll do repeating. Repeating is good. Repeating, which is going to be white, 0.25%, and then transparent, 0.50%. Yeah, I think that's what I want. And so this, we make it a variable var, B for background, like so. And then this background is -b. Margin is a var of whatever this is. And those are our three pieces. And we got a problem already. So I made an assumption. Look at that. It's not going to work. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm going to follow the thread and see if we can make this work, but already my assumptions are incorrect. So a reminder to get out your rulers and measure before. There is an aphorism, I believe it's Japanese in origin, which is measure twice, cut once, and I'm measuring 0 times or measuring too late. So that's a bad precedent. But let's see if we can make it work. 4, 5, 6, 60, 100, 110, 20, 10, 122. And it looks like the height of this is 80. And then 0, 140, 150, 160, 161, 62. That's our first element. Oh, and the height needs to be taller. 120. 120 is correct. And then B, the margin on that one, and we'll set 4 numbers there. We'll do minus. We started with a -100, and that's too much. How about -80? How about -70? Oh, 71, 72, great. Like I said, though, this is not going to work. 100, 110. And then the height of that guy is a little different, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. So height is 100. So we'll set this as variables. So var -h or 120. 120, 30, 40, 45, 46, 45, 44. Close. And then the final, and I guess we do need to put a C on this. C is the third element. And the margins for that we'll set 4 values. First thing we need to do is need to push it up, so the top margin or the block start. Let's go 100, 20, 30, 32, 200, 100, 4, 5, 6, 162, and then here 100, 30, 40, 20, 22. And you'll notice we're close, except for these little divots there. Can we fix that? Can we fix that cleanly? So if we change this repeating content grading to be a different at, and I guess I'll start at 50% and 50% since that's by default, and then we can adjust. So I guess what, 40, 41, 42, and that sort of works. Indeed, if we change that no, we can't do that. Nope, wrong. I think that means we need a second. And if we need a second, then what's the point? So really we want a conic gradient that's white 25% and then 0. We just do that. And then we do a second conic gradient. Which is from 180 degrees. And then the at value there is what? Probably 58%. Yeah. And let's see if that's a match. This is definitely not efficient. This is not efficient. Okay, so that's a 100% match. What if we didn't do it this way? We're unit replacing and submit, and that is certainly a style. Not super crazy about that. Not really. So what are our alternatives for this then? Let's go with the nested template. So we did the 3 elements. Let's do absolutely minimal elements and see what we can do in terms of pure backgrounds. So we're going to set the background of this to be the light blue, and then use our margins on the body element to constrain this. 3, 4, 5, 52, 100. And we already see there's an asymmetry. 0, 40, 40, okay, and then 110. Okay. So if that's the case, I feel like we build up. So here's a blue. What if we just did all linear gradients? What would that look like? We would say this dark blue that is 50 pixels transparent. All right, so we're just going to do layer by layer. Bottommost, going from the top to bottom. something has gone wrong there. This 110, 22. There it is. So that's what I meant to do. Okay. Okay. So one of the things you can do with background position is use right and left, right 0, top 0, and then set a width, 100 pixels, and then repeat Y. That is a wonky way to do it. So that width is correct. It's 120 wide. And then do we have another one of those? Or even better is the technique. No, that's not a good technique. All we want to do is push it over. There we go. 60. How about 50? 50. 52. Okay, so that's a little cleaner than the right 0 to, or right 120, blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's the first one. All right, what's on top of that? How about another linear gradient? Or even better, maybe that linear gradient is in a more specific location and it's pushed downward. It's this one here. So let's move that over. 10, 11, 12, and then push down 60 pixels. There it is. And then we want white. So we have two white linear gradients, and yeah, this is a mess. Sorry about that. It's a fun mess, but it's a mess nonetheless. So white. And 40 pixels, 40 pixels. And let's say it's 50 pixels. No, 50 pixels, 0. And what if we set a, so we set the width on that. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Silly. And these both need to go below. When I say both, a white background. We can't see anything now because I have an extra comma. One extra comma and the whole thing explodes. That's an intimidating part of doing CSS, but don't let that daunt you. 6, 7, 48. And the width is 5, 6, 7, 2, and then that height is 6, 7, 22. Great. And then if I do another one, zero, 100 pixels, 72 pixels, repeat Y. I'm just sort of guessing there. That's pushed down too much. How about 6, D, 2, 3, 4, 100, 110, 20. There it is. So that's identical. So now we have those, and then we need another one of these in the blue, I think. I'm going to copy that whole linear gradient and then move it over, which is at 0, 0, And then if I move that over 100 pixels, or whatever that number was, 70. How about 60? Or 65? I've forgotten what the numbers were, as I often do. 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52. Okay. So that's 3 linear gradients. Let's submit that. See what our result is. Make sure that we're 100%. Because we're reusing the, what, 72 pixels tall, 72 pixels tall, 120 pixels tall. And so we'll call it W white is var W. And B, this other one, is that. And then I can condense this to var B, and that still was working. And this one as well is var B. And then this one is var A, or var W, is what I said. What did I say it was? And that's 3 linear gradients. And let's submit that. Make sure that we're still in good stead. What's interesting is that if I've got all that, why do I need these margins? Like, maybe I don't. Or do I? Maybe I don't. Let's undo these margins. Okay, great. So that's all the same thing. Nuke that, nuke that, nuke that. So that's the whole assembly, but I need to move the whole thing over. Now, I could be lazy and can I translate the body? Probably not. No. In theory, if this was on an element, maybe I could translate it, but I don't think I can. So I need to add, I need to do a bunch of math, which is irritating, right? So if I add 100, so I have what? I've got, these are the numbers I've got. That's working code. So let's comment that out. Paste. And let's see what we got. All right, 100, 20, 30, 130. So it was, so we added, what we added 128. That's 7, 180 then. Oh, I'm doing it on the wrong one. Hilarious. 180. Oh, I'm going too fast. Don't go too fast. Oh, it's just it's a terrible mess. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right. Here's what was working. Again, the lesson here, don't go too fast. And if I could do addition, which apparently I cannot, it also would be helpful if I went bottom to top, because that's a little bit easier. That's the order that I did it in before. 1, 6, 7, 170. Yeah, so this is going to be slightly better. 4. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we just adjust each one of these numbers. Right? So we adjusted that. What do we say? 120 pixels. $170. And then downward. 80. I think that's right. No, 100. 110. No, it's some oddball number. 122. 108. There it is. Oh, math. How does it work? So that number gets higher. 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 2, 1, 20, 22, 118. There it is. 5, 6, 7, 180. There it is, the 180. And then our final 1, 2, 3, 130, and then down 100, 10, 20. And that is another way to do that. Okay. So all background, minify, submit. Oh, and I think I have some unit replacements that will work. And that is slightly better. Unit replace gets a few things there. We have two variables, two kinds of gradient, very specific. And yeah, they could have been conic gradients with ats because they're so consistent. Would be another way to do that, and just simple locations. Maybe that would be better. Would it be? I don't know. I definitely it's got so many approaches, and I didn't do things like inset borders. I didn't do box shadows. It looks like box shadows could potentially work here. You know, like silly as it might be. So let's do a box shadow. Wow, we're doing it all. We're doing it all today. So let's make this. So we were going bottom to top. We did the little blue, and then the white, and the white, and then this blue. But what if we create one paragraph element and then did all box shadows to accomplish this? So let's do the first one, which is this square here. All right. We need to set margins on him. 100, 120, 60, 0, 60. His height needs to be 120, 100, 110, 20, 122. And then this margin is 162. Great. So what do we need to do box shadow? Box shadow. And there's going to be a few, right? So one of them we can do is 100. Let's see. So 100 pixels, 100 pixels, or 100 pixels minus 100 pixels. So this is to do this guy. And I want to say that's blue, or light blue even. This will require, when I've done solutions like this, it is easy to lose track of what you're doing. 70, 60, okay, and then 50, 40, okay. So we just made that. Now, obviously, I need a white one here. So I need one that's like 10 pixels, 10 pixels, no, 10 pixels minus 10 pixels. And you already can see the problem, which is great. Is it 12 pixels? 12 and 12. So to do it this way, then I need to, okay, so we do that, and then we do what, minus 12, 12. And then, on top of those, I need a dark box shadow. So minus 50 pixels, minus 40 pixels. Almost. Minus 50, minus 60. And then another one of those that is probably that, and then positive. All right, so what did I do wrong? I got 40, 50, 60. There it is, 60. And then this is also 60. That is another solution. So while I was about to finish up, I thought of another way to do it on the silly side, but satisfying in its own way. And somebody pointed out that yes, you can set color to set a default one of these. You know, this is an optimization. Yes, do that for sure. I don't always get to every optimization. That's fine. I try to do it and get out of here, but it's fun. And did we submit? I can't even remember if I submitted this one and got 100%. It just shows me that I did get 100% last time I submitted, but I don't remember. Okay, so then we minify and unit replace and submit, and that is another solution potentially. And I suppose that you could do this also with, and that is a better score. So the box shadows. So it's 5. In that case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 box shadows. 1 element, 5 box shadows. And could I do that? Just to recapitulate the whole thing, if I do that, set these margins like that, move this inside and create the star, remove the paragraph element, is that identical? It's close. I think this margin needs to be an 8, no, 110, 112. And that's another solution. So that refinement is using the nested technique, what I call the nested technique, part of the GitHub GitHub plugins. So minify, unit replace, and that would be a final. I think that's going to be a smaller score. You know, no paragraph tag, and the nested template, and yeah, so it's even slightly better. So many ways to do it. I did this all the ways. Probably there's other ways too. I think that there are optimizations to be made across several different ways. I mean, this is one that you could choose to do a clip path on this one too. Like that, there are some interesting, fun ways to do that. I could see the argument for doing it as 2 specific paragraph elements. One is this shape, blue, 279 degrees around, and then white, and then this one is that, maybe with a clip plugged in. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to do it. Hope you're having a good day, and go make a webpage. Go make a webpage. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other, and yeah. There's so many ways to do stuff. It's pretty cool. It used to be an ethos of the Perl community. There's more than one way to do that, or more than one way to do that. It's an acronym that they use because appreciating how expressive Perl is as a language. That's a programming language. If you've not heard of it, you might check it out. It is not the most popular programming language. That's probably JavaScript. I wrote a little JavaScript today. It was great. I wrote a little PHP today as well. Now I've written some CSS. Been a while since I've written Perl, but nothing stopping you from doing that. All right, get out of here. Bye.